Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are back again, back with another match reaction and player ratings after another drab Arsenal performance yet again. But I keep repeating myself. I'm getting fed up with repeating myself as well. You all know how I feel on the situation. Once again, individual mistakes have cost us. Once again, Arsenal did not turn up. First half, we was not too bad. Going off the highlights because unfortunately I was at work, so I didn't really catch the first half. I actually tuned in 2 minutes before the Granit Xhaka mistake as well. So what a time to tune in. Uh, and yeah, second half, like I said, just not good enough. Not good enough. And a lot of people are going to talk about the penalty decision. A lot of people are going to talk about the Nicolas Pepe mistake in the sense that he should have really scored, and instead he scuffed his lines yet again. But from my personal perspective, this is on us. This is on us yet again. However, guys, you're not going to hear me moaning too much because I have a guest in the background and I'm excited to bring him back on again. Of course, you've seen him on the channel before. He's had a little breakout. Arsenal are killing us all so much that my guest here has had to take a little bit of time out to regroup himself. But he's back and he's here today, and I'm excited to get him on. African Gooner is in the building. How we doing, bro?
Brandon, good to be back. I wished it was on a win, but you know it is what it is. Arsenal gives you a roller coaster ride, and as you said, so much emotional input into this team, and we know how this team is just a roller coaster, especially when you love this team with so much passion, and you really dedicate a large part of your life to just supporting this team and giving it your all. So yeah, just needed to take a little bit of a break, kind of disconnect and just watch the games kind of, with a little bit less emotional investments. Obviously in the Benfica game that didn't work out, but when we won that, it kind of re-energized me a little bit and gave me a little bit of hope. And then, yeah, I mean, we saw what happened today. So we'll discuss that shortly.
Of course. And yeah, like I just said there, mate, drab performance by Arsenal. I mean, what did you make of the game?
Yeah, I mean, I think we started really, really well. I was predicting a 3-0 win, and when we scored that first goal, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be an easy ride. We get a second, and that's it. Like, because Burnley are gonna have to push on for a goal, and we're just gonna hit them on the counter. I think Aubameyang's goal was a bit lucky. To be fair, the keeper should have done better. So I had in my mind that that was a kind of a lucky goal, and we got away with it because the keeper should have done better. But we will take it. And then I thought we were going to push on from that. I think Saka didn't have a very good game today, to be honest. I'm not going to be hard on him. I love him, and we know how much he brings to this team. But I think he didn't have his mojo today, to be honest. And I think once he got that yellow card, he could have gotten a red card. And I was actually surprised that he didn't come off. Because I think I would have taken him off and brought Martinelli. I don't know. Again, why is Martinelli not in this team? Where is Martinelli? I do not understand why this kid is not playing. 1-1, you're chasing the game. You take off Thomas Partey to bring on Ceballos instead of bringing on a Martinelli. Like, what is going on? Someone needs to be asking Arteta, what's going on with Martinelli, because I know he said that there's nothing. There's clearly something when as fans we're watching what we're seeing. So yeah, just a couple other points. I mean, I think David Luiz played quite well, to be honest. I think Mari played well. He made one bad foul where he got pulled out of position and he had to make a foul. He got lucky he didn't get a yellow card, but I thought he played really well as well. Tierney was great, as usual. I think Chambers wasn't bad. He had an average game for his first game back in such a long time and playing 90 minutes. And some people are saying that you could tell the difference between Bellerin and Cedric in terms of the attacking threat. I think Chambers didn't have the same attacking threat as a Bellerin or a Cedric would have, and that might have destabilized the team. I don't know, but that's something to think about. I think Aubameyang kind of scored the goal and then was out of the game, really, for me. I mean, he had one other chance where it kind of came to him and it was on his left foot and he toe poked it and he completely missed it. I don't know if you saw that on the highlights. I mean, kind of could have scored that as well. It was a chance in the 20th minute. We could have been 2-0 up. Willian, he he got an assist. You know, even though Aubameyang scored that goal on his own, you have to give him credit. It's an assist. That's good. I think he played well, above average. He wasn't excellent, but he was way better than his usual performances. So I wasn't too upset about that. And to be quite honest, I want to touch on Pepe as well. I think Pepe was very disappointing, man. 72 million. I mean, man, like left foot open goal, and you don't even hit it on target. You cost 72 million. Listen, El Neni is getting that shot on target. I mean, even the crappiest of crappiest players in our team is getting that shot on target, right? Even with their weaker foot. So, man, it's just so frustrating because he had such a great game, and you're like hoping he kicks on. And yeah, I mean, the penalty situation for me was definitely penalty, the first one. I mean, how is that not a penalty? The only reason I say it's not a penalty is, as a attacking player myself, I know when you scoop the ball and the defender's just standing there and it just touches his hand, it's like he couldn't do anything. But it still touched his hand, and technically, according to the rules, it's a penalty, right? Because his hands are not in a normal state. So yeah, I don't know how that doesn't get looked at by VAR, Brandon. To be quite honest, when I saw that, I was like, someone grab the ball. Just like stop the game, grab the ball so they can look at it. Because I felt like if the play didn't stop, I felt we wouldn't get it, And I feel like a lot of times when these situations happen and they show the fans and they show the world the actual VAR, like they actually show you what's going on in the play. They show the replay of the play and they show how they're making that decision, and then they make whatever decision. I think there's more pressure to give the decision because everyone can see it. But when they say, oh yeah, VAR looked at it, but it actually didn't come on TV, I don't believe that, because I think they get away with it because no one else can see, and they can make up whatever excuse and you just got to believe it. But if you watch it on the screen and they say, oh, he was too close or whatever, there's actually an argument, right? So I don't think that was fair at all. I don't think that there is a conspiracy against Arsenal. I just think we get really unlucky. We've been getting really unlucky with all our VAR decisions, or just decisions in general. But yeah, that's pretty much my summary of the game. I mean, 1-1. I was really hoping to push on more in the last 10 minutes, trying to get something. You take off Thomas Partey instead of Xhaka. I mean, I want to touch a little bit on the Xhaka goal as well. I mean, we spoke about it. I've taken out a lot of my anger. I hate the guy. I don't even hide it. I hate the guy. I don't hate him personally, whatever, I'm cool with whatever he wants to do personally. But as a football player, I absolutely hate him. And I only hate him because he keeps getting shoved down my throat and keeps screwing me over, right? And when someone keeps screwing you over, you're going to hate them. I mean, it's normal, right? So, yeah, man, I mean, just Xhaka things, absolutely calamitous. I mean, I think on Sky Sports, one of the commentators was saying that he's never seen something like this in the Premier League ever, and that's true. Like, it's just so unheard of or unseen, like, for some player to do that, and especially one who has consistently done it, to do it again and again and again. I mean, it's just a different variation of the same mistake that he makes all the time, right? He's absolute dog shit. Get him out of my club. 5 million, 10 million, 0 million, 1 pence, cent, whatever you guys call it in the UK. I don't care. Get him out of the club, man. He's absolute trash. And I'm just sick of him, man. And I can't believe people are protecting him. We did have a discussion. I was on a previous podcast earlier today, with some other people, some other Arsenal fans protecting Xhaka, saying he's been playing really well and this is just one mistake. And I'm like, you're blind as a bat. He's made 8 mistakes leading to goals since he's joined Arsenal. That's double more than any single player in the Premier League. And he's not even a defender. He's a freaking midfielder. That is appalling. And Arteta has to take the blame, Brandon, because he keeps playing the guy. And I know he doesn't have many options, but, he could have played El Neni and Partey. He could have played Ceballos and Partey. He could have played Smith Rowe. I mean, there are options. He just keeps playing the guy. And so that's on him today. You keep playing him. This is what you get. If you get fired because, of choosing these players that keep failing you, aka the Pepe, the Willian, the Xhaka, which we all know are repeated offenders, serial killers. That's what I call them, serial killers. They should have a lifetime sentence in jail. That's how many mistakes they've costed our team, Just, yeah, really frustrating, man. And then he gave away the game, right? I mean, I know that we had so much more time to actually score another goal, but once he gave that goal away, Burnley were in it. They were like, yeah, these are the suckers we came to play. These are the guys we knew we can beat. These are the guys we know we can get at. And you could see that the energy changed in the game, and they actually felt that they had a chance in the game. And let's be real, Brandon, they could have scored. It could have been 2-1 in the end because Burnley made a save, right? So, Jeez, man. I mean, imagine we lost the game today. How would we feel? Going into Olympiacos, it's like, yeah, it's all over. So again, this roller coaster, it's not healthy for me. I'm gonna have a heart attack, man.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. But for me, it's all over anyway, mate, because if we can't beat Burnley, how are we going to beat Olympiacos? And this is the worry about me, about Arsenal for me. We churn out too many of these performances. How many times this season have we made individual errors that have cost us points? How many times this season has this manager cost us points by selecting the wrong team, selecting the wrong players, doing
Or
this,
wrong
doing that?
situation.
How many times have we started games slow, lethargic, crap? You know, I get sick and tired of repeating myself over and over again. If you're playing against
Yeah,
a team that's playing a low block, yeah, you have to move the ball quickly. Too many players in this team want to take 3, 4, 5 touches before they move the ball on. Granit Xhaka is a prime example of that. And this is why we debate all of this. People who are Arteta in think that every Arsenal fan that's Arteta out has just got an agenda against the manager. No,
no,
we've got him under a microscope because the guy wasn't qualified to take the job in the first place, but he got the job. He has been hyped up as one of the best up and coming managers around because he worked under Pep Guardiola. Let's see that, right? And all we've seen is he's not good enough. And I don't blame Arteta for today. I feel like he picked a strong enough lineup to beat Burnley. And once again, individual errors have cost us. But
and
I
we
am
miss
getting
sitters.
fed up with Arsenal churning out crap performance after crap performance after crap performance. You know, there becomes a point now where you have to start questioning the manager because the manager should be the one getting these players up for a game. It's all right getting up for a game against a Man City, a Chelsea, a Manchester United. It's easy to do that when you're playing a big team. It's when you're
Brandon,
playing the likes of Burnley, the likes of
we don't
Crystal
even do
Palace.
that, Brandon. We don't even show up against the big teams. I can remember clearly against Man City in the final of the League Cup, we didn't show up. We lost 3-0. So even in the final, we can't even show up. Europa League final, we didn't even show up. It's the chance to win the first European trophy for Arsenal in such a long time. First one in my lifetime, and they didn't show up. So it's not only the small teams. And I hear you on Arteta, like I keep going, swaying because I feel bad for the guy. I know he doesn't have the players, but he's also making mistakes, which puts me on the fence because, I can give him making one or two, small mistakes, but he keeps repeating mistakes. And I told you, Brandon, he lies. He's lying to the fans as well. He gives me the Arsene Wenger vibe in some of his press conferences. He has a tendency to lie and protect the club, which I don't like, and maybe Unai Emery would have done the same and he just didn't have the English to actually do it. So we didn't see it from him. But I mean, yeah, for me, just too many red flags. I think, we're not going to be in Europe next season. As much as I hate to say that today, that draw, that removed us from making the, Europa League or Champions League in the league for me. I think it's gone. It's just too many teams, and even if a couple of them drop, not all 6-7 teams are going to drop. 8-9 points for us to make it back in there. It's not going to happen. So for me, it's only about Olympiacos, and as you said, I'm scared because they're definitely going to be looking at us and licking their lips, saying, not entirely a wounded animal, but yeah, a little bit wounded. There's still a lot of parts of our body that they can attack, and if they infiltrate, they can score 1 or 2 goals in the first half, and the tie could be over for us. That's how it is with Arsenal. Just in a second, everything is done. So yeah, and even if we beat Olympiacos, Brandon, how plausible is it that we're gonna beat the next 2 or 3 teams that we get, until the final? Because it's only gonna get harder from here. I don't have much faith, So I want to see what he does in the transfer window. That's really gonna be for me signal his intent. The type of players, the positions, and if he doesn't do the job in the summer, then I'm out. Then that's when I'm officially out. Even before we start the season, depending on the transfers, that's when I make my decision.
But you say all this, mate, and I'm going to come back to you on this, right? Today's performance, for example, yeah? we look at that individual mistake that started with Pablo Mari passing the ball back to Leno, right?
Yeah.
You've got the ball under control. Then you've got Burnt Leno, right? Now, Burnt Leno, I think we can all agree, is a very good shot stopper, very good goalkeeper. I think he's improved this season in terms of commanding his box. But the one thing that lets him down is his distribution, right?
He's
And we
been
saw
better,
that
but he's
again
still not
today.
good enough.
I don't blame him fully for the mistake, but he's got a view of what's going on. He can see that these Burnley players are pressing. Just
Brandon,
kick
he's
the ball
under
up, man.
instruction. He's under instruction, man. They're
I
in
know.
training. They're doing this,
But
and Leno is making that pass to Xhaka 10 out of 10 times, and
I
10 out
know.
of 10 times Xhaka is making a one-touch pass to the left, not trying to make 2 touches and then try to. I mean, that's all Xhaka, man. That's all Xhaka
I
for
agree
me.
with you. I agree with you. But then I also look at it and I think to myself, at the same time, would Emi Martinez have made that pass? Or would he have found a better pass? Or would he have gone, oh, actually, I'm going to hoof this up? I
Yeah.
personally feel Emi Martinez probably wouldn't have made that pass. He would have seen the bigger picture. He would have seen, look, it's Granit Xhaka I'm passing to. He's prone to a mistake. And Burnley are pressing high. I'm lumping that ball up, you know? And then this is where the decisions of the manager come in. The decision to let Emi Martinez go and keep Leno, you know? Then the decision to keep Granit Xhaka at the club when he was on his way out and he's made yet another mistake. How many mistakes has this guy made that has cost us points, you know, led to goals? It is ridiculous
Probably
beyond
15
belief.
points, Brandon. Maybe between 15 and 20 points, if we're being real.
This is the thing with Arteta. We're all saying, "Oh, I want to wait until the summer and see what he's going to do in terms of what players he's going to bring in." Forget about the players he's bringing in. It's the players that he is relying upon that are the problem.
But what else? What else does he have?
The
Right?
Bellerins, the Granit Xhakas, the Willians, the Burnt Lenos, who it doesn't matter if they churn out crap performance after crap performance after crap performance. They start week in, week
It's
out.
because our squad is too weak, man. That's why. I don't listen. I hear you completely. I'm not saying it's right, but like I'm also looking at it holistically and looking at the team and being like, you know, yeah, our team is absolute garbage. You know, yeah, sometimes he could try some of the garbage players, but you know, what can he do, man? Who is going to play Xhaka with? I mean, yeah, I hear the Bellerin 100%. Like, you know, we know we can play Bellerin or Cedric. We got rid of Maitland-Niles. You saw the comments he recently made. I don't know if you did. I mean, that shows you everything. You know, he's not coming back for sure. So, yeah, I mean, who is going to play Joe Willock? Joe Willock is on loan, isn't he?
I mean,
so who else? So Ceballos is the only person.
Thing is it's kind of understandable because who else are you going to play there? So I get that one, right? But in terms of, as you just mentioned, Hector Bellerin, for example, he should not be playing. And he in recent weeks he hasn't been playing, and I get that. And Arteta has probably realised that he's not the man, or he's taken him out of the firing line. Do I trust that he won't start against Olympiacos? No, I don't. But in terms of handing out new deals, he's handed out a new deal to Rob Holding. It's not good enough to be at Arsenal Football Club.
I agree.
You know, you got the likes of Gabriel Martinelli. Can't get a game. Why? You know, and the thing that annoys me about Arteta the most, right? And I've said this a lot. When he first came in as manager, he wasn't my first choice. He wasn't anywhere near the person that I would choose to manage Arsenal Football Club. However, his first 3 to 5 press conferences, I felt refreshed. I felt refreshed because he came in and he said that he was gonna play players based off merit. That was the standout point to me. It seems to me like if you have a good performance, you get dropped next week, but you can churn out crap performance after crap performance after crap performance, and you'll still play. Nicolas Pepe is the prime example. Look, I don't rate Nicolas Pepe, right? And you know that. Everybody on my channel knows that as well. But in terms of his performance against Leicester last week, he deserved to start today. Well, it doesn't matter what he put out today. He deserved to start.
You can't drop Saka, so that's a tough one. I hear you, but so So you can't drop Saka. So what do? Do you play him on the left where he was really good against Leicester on the right? So it's so tough. That's a tough one. I totally
Well,
hear
you
you,
could
but I don't
do.
know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do in that situation either.
You could give Odegaard a rest, play Willian in the 10, Pepe on the left, or Saka on the left,
But
or
then
and
if
vice
we
versa.
collapse, then it's like, why did you play Willian in the 10? It doesn't work, right? So there's always something else. But I hear you. I totally understand what
I
you're
get
saying.
you. I do
Yeah,
get you, but I said in my preview that all I wanted was 2 changes made to the team that played Leicester, because at the end of the day, we beat Leicester 3-1. It was a comfortable victory. The players who played in that game would be high on confidence, and like I said, players should be played based off of merit. I don't care about what players do in training, because we don't get 3 points for training well. We get 3 points for beating teams
for
at
sure.
the
But if you're
weekend.
training well, then you're expected to do well in the game, right? It shows an indication that you're more likely to do better in the game than someone who's not performing well in training, right?
It's all PR, mate. It's all rubbish. It really is. Honestly, at the end of the day, what Arsenal fans care about is what happens on the pitch come a Saturday or a Sunday or
Yeah,
even a
I agree.
Monday.
I
You
agree.
know,
I agree.
it's not about who trains well, who does this. I get that he's trying to build a culture, but how can you build a culture when you're still playing the likes of Hector Bellerin, who does not give a toss? Yeah, he don't care about football, let alone Arsenal. He cares about fashion. That is what he wants to be. That is what he enjoys doing. He doesn't enjoy playing football. It's a job to him, and he's earning a ridiculous amount of money for playing for Arsenal. But in terms of actually being the one who cares about that badge, there's only one player, maybe two, that start week in, week out, that care about that badge, and you can see they do, and that is Kieran Tierney and Bukayo Saka. The rest of them, yeah, forget about it. They're there for a pay packet, and that is it, you know. And I get you. He's trying to build a culture, but I just kind of feel like I said, you got to play players who are playing well. How many times this season have we seen him drop players after having a good performance? Lacazette
Yeah,
was
but
scoring goals at the
Brandon,
beginning of the
have
season.
they had like 3 or 4 good performances, or they had one good performance and we're like, okay, they finally had a good performance, means you should play them again. I feel like that is where we're stuck, because I feel like they've had one good performance and then all of a sudden we're like, yeah, play Pepe, but we forget that like 10 games before that he was absolute crap. All the games that he got, right? So it's tough. I'm not saying he's getting it right. I'm just thinking out loud and I'm trying to, balance the
Mm.
the feeling. I mean,
I
yeah,
get,
I
I,
totally agree with you though.
I get what you're saying, but in terms of Pepe, maybe he's just low on confidence. Maybe that is what it is. Maybe he needs a string of games. He hasn't
But
had that at
he's
Arsenal.
played like 3, 4, 5 games in a row, and he's been disappointing. Like, I'm sure if we looked on Google right now, he's definitely played 4 or 5 games straight, and he disappointed. It's just more recently that he started to assist and get more involved, and he seems a little bit better. And now we're like, okay, now give him a stretch of games and see if it's going to be the same Pepe. And I think Arteta has just lost that trust in him, and we just have too much at stake for a player like a 72 million. You saw Brandon, he missed the open net, and
Mm.
you're telling Arteta to play the guy. He just freaking missed the open, like he missed the open goal, and you're
But
telling me
then
to
you've got
the man to trust him.
Then you've got
It's
the
like,
other end of the scale, mate, because he won't trust Pepe, but he'll trust the likes of David Luiz, who's a
yeah, yeah,
walking
no, I know,
mistake
I
waiting
know.
to happen. He'll
I have
trust
no
the
comment on
likes
that
of
one. I don't know how that one works, and with the Bellerin one as well, I don't know how that one works. It has like its own, rules and stuff that we don't know.
I don't get it, mate. To be honest with you, I'm actually quite angry because although I feel like I don't personally feel we can even before the game kicked off, I don't personally feel we can finish any higher than eighth, maybe ninth.
Oh no, no, no. We're
But
not going to be in the top half of the table, dude.
in
We're
terms
going to
of
be 11th.
like confidence, you know what I mean? You have to winning games breeds confidence, and our most important game this week is Olympiacos. If we want any chance of salvaging our season, we need to go far in the Europa League competition. I personally don't believe we can win it, but the thing is you never really know what can happen in football. I mean, I'm not a negative fan, but I'm not exactly positive either. But I sort of look on it like this, and
Real.
I feel like
It's real. It's called being a real fan. You know, it's both. It's negative when you have to be, and when it is, and positive when it is as well. You just have to be balanced with your thoughts on how the team is performing and reflecting. The team is what makes the fans, you know, give whatever emotion it is. We don't just, you know, want to hate our team for no reason. I mean, that's absolutely absurd. We react based off of what we see from the team, and we have seen this team. I've watched probably over 100,000, 200,000 minutes of Arsenal live, you know, like whether on. So we've watched so much of this team that we know this team way too well. We know the culture of this team. We know the, you know, susceptibility that this team has, and it just keeps happening. And we don't know how to get out of this cycle. We just keep staying in the cycle, right?
yeah, no, I understand, mate. I get where you're coming from completely.
And by the way, if the fans are in the stadium, I think you know, we have this. It's a very different fan base right now. I think his head would be on the chopping block. I think Xhaka's head would be on the chopping block today. You know, if people were in the stadium, I definitely think you'd got booed again. To be honest, that's my opinion. And yeah, I mean, we're a cup team, Brandon. We know we've been a cup team for 3 years, so that doesn't change anything. You know, I agree with you. We want to be winning games to build confidence for the Europa League. But quite honestly, I can see Arsenal losing all our games in the Premier League, or just drawing, losing, winning, like, you know, miss and match, and then like win in the Europa League, because that's the type of team we are. We're just one of these teams. We just depends on the game we want to win, and we decide to win. It's ridiculous. It's not normal, but that's how it works with Arsenal. By the way, Chris Wood has never scored a goal against Arsenal, and that's probably the easiest goal he'll ever score against Arsenal, man. A gift, man. A gift.
Oh dear. Oh, I don't know. Maybe we should
He
change
didn't
that
even know
bit.
how to celebrate. Like he was as shocked as everybody else. He just put his hands up, like, yeah, like, you know, this is what happens when you pressure Granit Xhaka. You know, I bet you they gave them instructions to press him. I am 100% sure. And it's not only them. Every single team we play against, one of the instructions is press Xhaka as hard as you can, because he's gonna lose it to you, or he's gonna flop like a biatch on the ground pretending he got fouled when he knows he lost the ball, and then they're gonna go and score. We've seen it all before.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
and I
exactly.
want to mention that I agree with you. I think Arteta has partial blame for putting out the tactics to Jacques to make sure that Jacques is the one receiving the ball in that position. It should not be him. You know, why did we buy Partey? For a specific reason. Partey should be the one collecting that ball, and Xhaka should be the one up front, because if he F's up, you know, up front there, it's okay, whatever. But when he F's up there, and we've seen it before, not only with Arteta does his research and stuff. I'm sure he's seen, you know, Xhaka makes that mistake, and Xhaka has said it himself. He says, I like playing in this new team with Arteta because he doesn't make me play with my back behind to goal. I don't like playing with my back behind to goal. He said that in an interview. And then you see this happening where, you know, 3, 4, 5 times in the game. And by the way, Brandon, he made more mistakes. He just didn't get caught. We just didn't get caught on them. He made 2 or 3 more mistakes where he gave the ball away in a similar situation, you know, putting us in a dangerous position. So, yeah.
Yeah, no.
As you said, what can you say? We keep repeating ourselves, man. I'm tired of repeating myself. It's the same crap. We keep repeating ourselves. It's just a different week or a different month, but it's the same stuff we keep saying for the last 5-10 years.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, mate. I can see the frustration.
I love this
feeling
club.
it as well.
Dude. I love this club, man. I want us to be the best in the world. I want to be happy. I want to see my team win. I want to celebrate. I want to have the best players and be able to brag to my friends or my coworkers and say, oh my God, you see how Neymar played last night? Did you see that hat trick? I want to be talking about the best players playing for my team, and that just hasn't happened for so long. And you know, you have so much ambition for your team, but your team doesn't have the same ambition as you. There's a mismatch, right? And that's the issue. There's a huge mismatch, and you just.
And instead, you're going into work like this. Oh, did you see Granit Xhaka's mistake?
Man, you know, I don't even defend. As a kid, you know, as I was growing up, we would lose 4-5-0 to City. You know how it is, 8-2 to Man United. You know, Chelsea 6-0. We've had a lot of beatings in our lifetime. and I've always been made fun of, and I've always protected Arsenal, always fought for Arsenal. And how dare you talk about my team like that? I'm not going to accept that. You can't talk about my team like that if I'm standing here, And now it's less likely for me to do that. I accept it. I say we're crap. I say we're average. I say I admit it, and it's also maybe because I'm more mature and I'm older now, and maybe that also plays into it. But yeah, I mean, I would never be able to tell someone that Arsenal is one of the best teams in the world, or fight for Arsenal. You just can't. It's just embarrassing, right? And that hurts.
Yeah, no. So, of course, we've covered today's game. In terms of Thursday, what do you see happening on Thursday?
Oh, man. Such a big game, man. Such a big game. We lose that game, and I think Twitter is going on a probably biggest meltdown. I think everything is just going to collapse. It's waiting. It's waiting. We are on the cliff. We're on the cliff right now, and the cliff is made of ice, and that ice is slowly melting, and we're going to fall off the cliff. And when we do fall off the cliff, it's going to be bad. It's going to be worse than Wenger out. It's going to be worse than Emery, because there's going to be nothing left to blame. It's going to be, everything is going to be at the owner. We don't know what to blame or what to do anymore as fans. We don't know where to put our frustration, and everything is just going to collapse, I think, together. And I think hopefully we can group as a fan base, and Dangote in. If he's serious about it, I want that guy to own Arsenal, man. He really is a true supporter. He said he wants to buy Arsenal over the last 10 years or so, and he's a billionaire, man, and he's African. So of course I have that affinity that I'd love to see an African guy own Arsenal, and I think he would invest a lot of money, but I don't see Kroenke selling. So to be honest, huge game on Thursday. I would say play the best team. Smith Rowe hasn't played in the last 2 games. I don't know if you bring him back in, to be honest. I don't think it's a wise idea. I would continue to play Odegaard. I'd play Ceballos and Partey, remove Xhaka from the team. I'd keep Mari and David Luiz. I'd play Tierney, and I'd play Cedric as right back. I'd keep Saka on the right wing. I'd keep... see, this is where it's hard, man, because today they were so average, man. There's not even a case for me to make it. And I would start Martinelli, but that's not happening. So Aubameyang up front, and I guess Willian or Pepe, either or. They're both the same player, really, to me. They're both average. So it doesn't really make a difference for me who plays on that left side. And that's what I would go with. And I would bring on Martinelli. Again, he has to come. If we're not winning, we need a goal or something. It's going to be crying out for Martinelli. If he doesn't come on Thursday, I'm going to be really upset. And again, more questions. Reporters, journalists, maybe as fans, we need to start DMing them or atting them on Twitter and get, making it aware that fans want to know what's going on with Martinelli, and not just the basic answer of no, he's doing well in training and stuff, but really push and identify analytically how many games has he not played and why has he not played. Even 5 minutes, I think against Leicester, we're winning 3-1 and you're bringing Aubameyang. What kind of thought process is that at all when you're about to play? It's just, yeah. So see, those types of things, I don't agree with Arteta. He's totally wrong in those situations. But he's learning and he's inexperienced, And Brandon, we look at Chelsea, man. I'm in awe. I wanted Thomas Tuchel. I love that guy. I think he would have done really well. He's very organized. I think, he's experienced. He's dealt with big players. I think he would have done a really good job. And him and Aubameyang, obviously at Dortmund, I think he could have revived Aubameyang as well. He knows where to play him. He created Aubameyang. I don't want to say create, but a large part of Aubameyang's success is due to Dortmund and what his manager did for him and the position and then building the team around him, right, to make sure that he's successful. So when you look at Chelsea and how they were about to be, out of it completely, and now they're in the top 4, it just shows you we could have gotten rid of Arteta and been in a complete different situation. We just don't have the balls to,
Exactly. Oh, I agree with you. And before we get on to talking about Olympiacos too much, I just want to bring it back to today's game, sorry. And player ratings. Go. Yeah. Start with Leno.
Okay, I'll start with Leno. I'm going to give him a 6. As I said, I don't think it's his fault. I think he's under instructions to give that pass to Xhaka. I think, maybe he could have yelled at Xhaka and say, man on, or clear the ball, or give him some sort of indication that it was immediate danger. And by the way, I'm sure as a team in training, they come up with these key words that mean like danger. If I say this word, it just means kick the ball away. I'm sure like you're playing professional at like in the Premier League. I can't imagine that they don't have some of these cultures in place. And if they don't, they definitely need to look at that. So I'm gonna give Burnley a 6. I don't think that he did anything too wrong. Okay, let's go at right back. Chambers, I'm going to give him a 6 as well. I don't think he was bad. I think he did really well for his first game back in. I wasn't too unhappy that he was starting because I think it was a good time, a good game to give him some game time. He hasn't played all season. And give Cedric and Bellerin a rest. It wasn't such a huge game and against such a strong team that you needed your best player in every position. So I was okay with that. I'll give him a 6. I want to see him do better in terms of is he really that classic right back, Brandon? Because he doesn't do that attacking part, and maybe it's because he's not a classic right back, right? He's a kind of a center back, center defensive mid, so he doesn't have that aspect of his game on the wing where he can do I don't want to say Bellerin is good, but at least do a Bellerin job, right? And then cross some balls and stuff. We didn't see that at all from him. David Luiz, I'm going to give him a 7. I think he was really good, and usually I don't really rate him. I think he gives the ball away too much and makes a lot of mistakes. But today, didn't do anything wrong, but I didn't think he was challenged at all. I think he had a hard game, and which is why he didn't look out of proportion. So I'm going to give him a 7. Mari, I'm going to give 6.5. I also think he didn't do anything too bad. As I mentioned earlier in the podcast, he did make one bad slide tackle, which could have given him a yellow and put us on the back front because he's on a yellow card for the next 45 minutes or whatever. So yeah, good performance from him. Tierney, I'm going to give a 7. I always give Tierney, above average because that's what he is. He's a superstar. And we hadn't chatted, but I really think that Tierney's, he's the reason we're in the next round, man. I know Aubameyang scored that final goal, but if Tierney doesn't score that goal, man, at the time he did and the way he scores that goal, phenomenal. Best left back at Arsenal I've seen in my lifetime. And I love the kid. 7, gives his all, and wasn't his best game, but he gave what he could, so I'm happy with that. Okay, Granit Xhaka 0, maybe even negative. I don't even want to get more into it because I get hate. I tweet something about Xhaka, which is my opinion, and it's truthful. It's nothing insulting about his family. It's just the real facts that he's crap, and you lose like 100 followers. Not that I really give a crap, to be honest, because I'm always going to say it how it is. That's how I feel, and no one's going to change my mind. He's crap. And I want him out of the team. Negative. Don't play him in the next few games. Keep him on the bench. I don't give a crap what you need to do. If it decreases his value, it's not like his value is that high anyways, or it's not like anyone's going to come for him this summer. I don't know what people are thinking. I told you, someone called him Prime Iniesta. Whew, he really gets my blood boiling. So yeah, I'll leave him rotting. Okay, Partey, I think pretty good, man. He comes in and he looks super solid. I think opposition players also recognize that he's really good on the ball. So they don't actually press him too hard because he gets the ball and you can see he's taking some touches to make a decision of which way he wants to go. And he doesn't get pressured because if he gets pressured, he can beat that man and then we're in. So I think people back off of him. Whereas Xhaka, they just go straight into him because they know they're at least 95% chance of getting the ball, to be honest. So yeah, I'm going to give Partey a 7. I think he was solid. I want to see him play every single game now. If he's not injured, he's fit. He needs to play every single game throughout. Odegaard, people are slacking off Odegaard, saying he didn't have a great game and stuff. I think he had a good game, to be honest. I liked him. I think I'll give him a 6.5. It wasn't his best game, but I think he did pretty well, to be honest, for me. I really enjoy him, and I think that since he's come into this team, he's brought so much mobility. He reminds me of Santi Cazorla. He's not as talented as Santi Cazorla, but he's very light on the ball. He can turn, he can nutmeg you, play both feet, play a through pass. And, the players I really like in midfield, and this correlates with me, is that chip ball. You just chip it right, like it's a scoop ball. You just scoop it with your foot over, and he can do that, and I really like that. So I'm going to give him a 6.5. Who else is next? Aubameyang, I'm going to give him a 6 because he scored the goal. He was absolutely out of the game, once he scored that goal. Again, if Aubameyang is not scoring, he's not really doing anything, and that seems to be an issue. But he scored, so I'm going to give him a 6, and I'll leave it at that. Saka, I'm going to give a 6 as well. I don't think it was his best game. I think I don't want to say burnt out, but he might be getting a little bit tired as well, and we can't expect him to be doing everything, all the time. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 6, and then Willian, I'm going to give a 6 as well. To be honest, I don't think he was bad. I think that was a fair fair player ratings, to be honest.
Okay. What about the substitutions? Pepe?
2. 2. Come
Okay.
on, man. 72 million. You can get a shot on target on your strong foot. Come on, man. Like, and it's not the first time. And I don't want to get angry. It's not the first time, huh? It's 7, 8 times he's done this. Shooting and he doesn't even get on target. And we've talked about this before, that he doesn't even get the shot on target. So it's not like oh yeah, it just happened once or twice. It's okay. It won't happen again. It's been happening. That's why it's disappointing. So 2, shouldn't play the next game for me after today. He should be on the bench. He needs to work again, work his socks off again to get into the team. And then who else was there? Ceballos. Oh man, he hit the post. If he scored that, I was so unlucky, man. I was ready to celebrate and everything. I felt like he could have done better, to be honest. He could have definitely gotten that in the corner. I felt like he put too much power on it. He just went for power. He just needed to place it in the bottom right or top right because the keeper was not going to move. He wasn't expecting the shot. So, yeah, that's I would say Ceballos 5, standard performance.
Is that all the substitutions?
Yeah, we did 3. So it was Pepe, it was Ceballos, and
Nice.
then who was the last one? Sorry?
Who was the last one?
Mm.
Someone came on. Oh no.
So Partey came off.
Yeah.
Odegaard came off, and Saka didn't come off. Someone who started on the left. Did Willian come off? No, he was there till the end of the game.
No, Willian came off.
Oh, so that is the third one. So Willian, Odegaard,
Willian
and
came off for Pepe.
Yeah. Odegaard
came off for Ceballos, and Odegaard came off for.
I don't remember now, actually.
Who did Odegaard come off for? People in the comments section, let us know. Who did Odegaard come off for?
I'm totally blanking out. I can't even remember. Can't even. I'm trying hard. Like, my brain is just.
That's how much of a drab game it was. We can't remember who came on. But anyway, if we can't remember who came on, they can't have done very much.
Big impact. Yeah. So no score.
Yeah. Thursday, of course, we've already mentioned about it, is the most important game in Arsenal's season. Score prediction. And I know you don't like doing score predictions, but are you confident? You are confident.
Not for a big score line, just for the results. So I think it's going to be 1-0. I think it is going to be a really boring game. I think it's going to be very dull till the second half, and we're going to somehow sneak a goal in the final few minutes and just 1-0 and take it from there. I don't know if we're going to win the second game. I haven't thought about that yet. But yeah, my feeling so far is I think Thursday we could sneak a 1-0 win. But I can also see a 0-0. I could also see a 1-1. And then you could always see a loss with Arsenal. Arsenal can lose against anyone, so that's always a given.
Yeah. Damien there just saying Lacazette came on.
Lacazette, sorry, yes. And I give him a 5 because he didn't really do much either, to be honest. And he was playing in the 10. Why would you bring, again, another mistake, Arteta, why would you bring Lacazette and play him in Odegaard position? I thought we were switching to a 4-4-2, but we didn't.
Exactly. It wasn't working. He should have switched it up in terms of formation. He didn't. He did like-for-like substitutions, and it just shows his lack of experience, lack of tactical nous as well as a manager. And I suppose it is what it is. In terms of Thursday, for me, it's the most important game of our season. If we go out, our season's over, and we're only just in March. We've got 2 more months.
There's only like 5, maybe 7, 8 more weeks of games anyway. So we're pretty much at the end of the season now. We're out of everything, and so this is it. And if we get knocked out of this, I mean, the repercussions is, the summer transfer window, we get the same excuses. We didn't qualify. We don't have the same budget as other people in the same competitions, and we can't afford the players, or the players that we are, the players that we want to identify are just not on the market. All the crap excuses they make all the time. And I just fear that if we don't make Europe next season, they're going to just say, coronavirus, pandemic, there weren't fans for a year and a half. We've lost a lot of money, and we
Hmm.
need to sell. They're gonna say we can only sell, like we can only buy with whatever we sell, with the money that we sell, and we're gonna sell Lacazette and all these guys. We're not gonna get top bucks for it. We probably will make like 50, 60 million selling all the crap players we have, and maybe be able to buy one or two players, that are average or just slightly above average, not even probably starters, because that's something that really boggles my mind, Brandon. I mean, any team, especially an average team like us, you're trying to buy a player that comes straight into your starting 11 and plays every single game. Arsenal don't do that. We buy players that are either injured or just sitting on the bench. We never, Partey was one of the only players that we bought is coming straight into our team in recent time. When we bought Guendouzi and Martinelli, they were never supposed to be players that come straight into the team. And even Torreira, I mean, maybe yes, but we need to do much, much better. So I don't
Hmm.
know what your thoughts are. I just, again, we keep like history keeps repeating itself. We keep going through the same cycles. So what more can you expect as a fan but to go through the same thing again?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And funnily enough, I put this question out on one of the videos that I did last week, and that was, if you could spend 150 million pound in the summer, or you spend 50 million pound, but you hire Leicester's recruitment team, which one would you choose? I know which one I would choose.
Yeah, and well, because you asked the question, I know which one you would choose, but I wouldn't choose that because I think the recruitment team can fix itself. I rather take the I rather take the money to buy the players, to be honest, because we are so stuck, man. We have to replace so many players. It's not even funny. It's like, and we're pretending. We're saying six, seven. If you're being real, we need like 10 players, dude. We need a reshape of 10 players, and that's never happening. So for me, I'd take the money and replace these players with championship players, replace them with La Liga players, or slightly above average players. I would sell Ceballos, by the way, or not sell him. I'd send him back to Madrid. I don't think he's good enough. I wouldn't waste my money on him. There's no way I'd waste my money on him, especially after the mistake he made against Benfica. I mean, it's not only solely on that, but I mean, that was the final straw for me to say, like, okay, this guy isn't it. He may be decent and he could do a job for us, but he's not going to take us to a Premier League title.
Hmm.
So bin them, even Odegaard. I mean, if we get him on a cheap, I'd sign him. But otherwise, I don't know how you feel about Awar. If we can get him, go get him and get Bissouma. How much is that going to cost? Maybe 30 million, 40 million. That's 70 million. And that's our midfield three: Partey, Bissouma, Awar. And that's done. And then you have Aubameyang, Saka, Martinelli, Pepe, Lacazette will go. That's your front team is already done. And then defensively, Saliba comes back. He hasn't been dribbled by an opponent in the last 10 games. Phenomenal stat, but yet he's not ready to play for Arsenal. But he hasn't been dribbled yet in the French league. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. Mavropanos is playing well as well. That's another option. You gave Holding a new deal, so you need to get rid of David Luiz now. There's no point of keeping him, in the club. What's the point? So, and then you need to buy a new right back, and we need to buy a new goalkeeper. So there's so much stuff to do, man. It's going to be really interesting to see what they do, and if we do it proactively, and not till the last few weeks of the summer as usual.
Hmm. Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with you. Listen, guys, we're going to have to wrap it up there because, well, we've been going for nearly an hour anyway. I'd love to get you on again. I'm doing a match preview before the Olympiacos game. I think Tom from Lee Gunner's channel, who does the fan cams and that, will be joining me as well. I'd love to get you on, mate, if you've got a bit
Yeah.
of free time. And yeah, we'll go from there. Of course, as we've just covered, another drab performance by Arsenal, another draw. Not great,
I want to
but
I want to ask you a question. Like, what are your serious expectations now? Like in this next few weeks, just overall expectations, like semifinal, final, trophy, nothing, dud, nothing, just complete. Those are the
um,
options. Pretty much. There's no middle for us. It's either we're gonna get something or we're a complete disaster.
yeah. My expectation is, looking at the teams that are left in the competition as well, I would expect us to reach a semi-final at the very, very least, being one of the biggest clubs in there. But in terms of like how we play now, in terms of In terms of quality and stuff like that, I can see us getting past Olympiacos, but if it depends on who we get in the in the next round, really. So yeah, it's a tough one, but you never know what can happen in football. I mean, nobody really expected us to win the FA Cup. We had to get by a very good Manchester City team, and we had to play a Chelsea team in the final. So I've always got that little bit of hope, but it's the hope that kills you, isn't it? You know,
especially
so
for Arsenal fans. Other teams, other fan bases, they have their teams give them hope and deliver a lot of the times. I'd say more than 50% of the time. I would say, whereas Arsenal deliver, I say maybe 15% of the time, if even that.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. Make sure you smash a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you go and check out African Gooner. You got any Twitter or something like that to shout out, mate?
Yeah. So you can follow me at the African Gooner. Yeah, hoping to be here on Thursday and we can discuss the Olympiacos game. Also wanted to mention that I see that you gotten a new mic and upgraded, so that's great. Great to see, and seeing that your channel is growing and that you've been putting out a lot of good content. So keep up the good work, and yeah, everyone like and subscribe to support.
Excellent stuff, buddy. Thank you for that. Yeah, make sure you do subscribe if you are watching and you haven't subscribed already. We are 2 subscribers away from 400 now. Make sure you smash a subscribe on the channel. There's plenty of content that I've got coming your way. Plenty of new guests. You know, you'll see African Gooner on here on a regular. Hopefully now, if Arsenal stop giving him heart attack vibes.
Yeah.
But
well, let me say this, Brandon. If we get knocked out, like why would I waste my time, right? It's not fair to me.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, guys, thank you for tuning in. Big up everybody in the comments section, and we will be back later on next week with a match preview to the Olympiacos game. See you there.